Everyone, welcome to another special video or live stream. I just like saying video. Today, so as you can see, the reason why I'm wearing this version of Jonesy is because today we're going to be going over the brand new GunNite Chapter 4 Season 1 map. We're going to be going over everything new to the loot pool, consumables, and the map, and maybe some storyline. We're going to be going over everything, because since this is a live stream, I can record for as long as I want. So I can go over pretty much everything you need to know in one whole video. So before I start, let me just remind you that GunNite Chapter 4 Season 1 can also be nicknamed as GunNite 2 Season 1. Because GunNite 2 is what I like to call my own version of a new engine, if you know what I mean. So therefore, you can either call it simply GunNite Chapter 4 Season 1, or you can call it GunNite 2 Season 1, because it will make sense either way. But anyways, without further ado, let's press ready up on creative mode, and we're going to go and take a look at GunNite Chapter 4 Season 1. Now, if we just pretend that none of the downtimes or the channel system never happened, let me be honest, this map did actually take a really long time, because before I even started announcing it, like posting little images in the community section, which I know only some devices can see, which is fine, I remember that the map took a long time, to the point where I even made one tutorial to show you how to make a river, which funny enough was in the Battle Royale map itself. So also, you're probably wondering why I have 3 different versions of the same game. So the one I selected right now is the actual map that I'll be updating. The one that says copy is the one the one that says copy in brackets is the Templar one. Basically what I mean by that is that we'll probably I can't remember, but I'm pretty sure that it's the one where I got a map. And yes, the cool thing about this Chapter 4 map that I made was that it actually was big enough to actually be seen completely on the map without having to fly towards it. Well, of course I have to because I'm just loading into the map, but once everything's all loaded, it should be all fine. Now the time of day this time I decided to just leave as it is, but we're gonna put it to this time of day, just in case. We're also gonna take off the mini map. And then take off this. Alright, so welcome to GunNite Chapter 4 Season 1. What you're seeing right here is the complete creation of the island. Today we're going to be going over every single PY, we're going to be going over everything. So I think first let's start off with the simple one, the spawn island. Because this time, so you might have noticed that there's been a pattern. Sometimes my GunNite BM map sometimes has a spawn island, but most of the time it's just everything's put inside of a little box. Like GunNite Chapter 2 was in a box, so was Chapter 3. But Chapter 1, when GunNite first started, didn't even have a spawn island. He simply spawned on the map. Which means that GunNite Chapter 4 is the only chapter so far to have an actual spawn island. Even back when I was making even back in Chapter 0, which doesn't exist, but even back in the beta worlds when I used to just make multiple different GunNite islands every time. And even some of them had spawn islands, but that doesn't count. Well, it does, but anyways, as you can see, this is the official spawn island for Chapter 4 Season 1. I tried my best to move it as far away as possible, because I had to use the Kevin Island in order to make this. So let's just fly over there and take a look, shall we? So this is the brand new spawn island for Chapter 4 Season 1. Okay, we're gonna turn the music up just a little bit. Alright, so welcome to the Chapter 4 Season 1 Spawn Island. I did not mean to do that. So of course all the classic tabs from old times of GunNite are still here, like the news, announcements, battle pass. Now, we're gonna go over the bad things of the spawn island before we go over the good things. So the bad thing was, like I said, the new channel system in Fortnite Creative has completely thrown me under the bus because I can no longer, because if I try to make an update that has like a new feature, or I gotta change a feature, or remove it and then add it later on in the next upcoming weeks, for example, I won't be able to do that because I'll have to learn how to use the new channel system. I'm still learning how to use it, and once I actually get it to work, because I'll be testing it a couple times, but once I actually fully get it to work, then I'll start and I'll be able to make actual updates. I'm still gonna make actual updates, of course, but not with channel system. Whatever, it doesn't matter. But yeah, luckily thanks to my bugs and fixes little tab thing here, I've already got everything on here. So all these different HUD messages are for my uncustom little main menu, where you can look at the battle pass and I'm shop straight from there. But the reason that all these are on these little like slap juice sort of signs is because most of these are unfinished. Like most of those HUD messages are unfinished. Like therefore, if you press one of the random things, it takes you up to the main menu. But honestly, at this point, I don't mind now because it's best to run around Spawn Island. Because of the new channel system, you now have to start the timer manually. So I might move it down here next time, but I can't else right now. Actually, I will. But you will have to move the timer, activate the timer manually to start the match. Because like I said, because of the new channel system, I can't get it to automatically do it when you spawn. And yeah, another bug is that the battle pass can no longer be at level 100. Because you see, I have all 100 levels all prepped up. Because the reason this thing is here is because this doesn't just have like this cool little alien feature thing, which I'll tell you later in the stream. But it's also the room where all the levels are being shown. Now how this level system works is that every time you do something, for example, landed the circle island near Luminous Lake, which is this little island right here, hence why the mutator zone's there. Which that doesn't work by the way, because I haven't got it to work. But yeah, for example, let's say level 5 was, because I know one of the levels is about hitting the bounty ball twice. I can't remember which one it is, but we'll just say level 5 it is, for example. So you then do the bounty ball twice, and it would give you a signal on mode that will teleport you to this room. This is the only time that it allows you to get into this room, because then you hit the button underneath the level, like level 5, which would be these first set of stuff. And of course, what this does is that it will give you special weapons, consumables, items, and a lot of other stuff, as you can see from all these levels, every time you complete the quest. It doesn't mean that these weapons are rare or can never be found in the game at all, because I will be honest, I might add some of these as actual weapons in the game. But I'm going to do it the classic way by simply adding item spawners around the map and then dropping the weapons in there. Because one, I thought that would be nice to bring that feature back, but also because of the new channel system. But like I said, as soon as I get that channel system sorted out and I figure out how to use it, I will then announce it, and I'll also write it down on like a piece of paper or something, so that I can come and look at it every time I forget. But for now, I just haven't learned it yet. But anyway, yeah, back to the spawn island. So of course now all the tabs that had the unknown time and date, the unknown dates, have now got that date updated, which is, as you can see, the 25th of July, because that was when I officially released the Chapter 4 Season 1 trailer. And it was a launch trailer, which means it wasn't just a trailer to like tease Chapter 4. It was a trailer that completely announced it, and it was finally revealed. And you got to see what happened just before Chapter 4 started, so in Chapter 3 Season 7, and so on. You got the Battle Pass, which right now still shows all 100 levels, but so far you can only get up to level 60, because from level 65 all the way up to level 100 are not available. So it still shows them there. So when they do work, you'll be able to figure them out. But for now they don't. Yeah, but some of the dialogue, like this one down here, in future updates we might have to depend on whether we should completely remove the battle pass or not. Well, no, that doesn't make sense, but basically what I mean is all this goes down to the new channel system, which was basically permanently added basically before I was about to even start making special videos for GunNite Chapter 4. Because one of my friends told me about it, and his name is Finn, and he works on his own battle royale called Battlefield, and we do collabs with each other every now and then. Anyways, so it's about time that we get to the actual POIs now. Spoiler lines, you know how that works, we don't need to go over that much. So, let's go over the first POI. And we're gonna go with... let's just start from the middle. So, if we pull up our map, the first POI is called Chaotic City. Now there's a funny reason for why this POI looks completely destroyed, with only the hotel building that I made myself, and my friend Scarlett made the tacos. But there's a reason why there's only these two buildings left. You see, even though we now have like 120,000, like 20,000 more memory, which means we have 120,000 in total, I think it is. And of course you can see why if you look at the memory thing. But the problem is, I didn't want it to be too high, because in case I want to add more changes later, I don't want it to reach the max 120,000, I think it is. Or 150,000, it's one of the two. I'll just say 120,000 for now. But I don't want it to reach the max 120,000k memory. So what I did was, since the POI was called Chaotic City, and also Scarlett made this little sign that says GunNite's very own Chaotic City in 150 yards, even though it's right there, I decided to make it look exactly how it sounds, with a bunch of rubble all over the city, with only two buildings standing. And if you're true OG, well, not really an OG, no, but if you have been looking at the community tabs at least a lot, you'll know that one of the first teasers of the map was showing this hotel building right there, which is called Homing Hotel. My first actual cool looking POI building that I have made since I started working on this map. Oh, that's doing that, get rid of that. Anyways, so let's talk. So the next POI, we'll go down this. We'll start from here, even though we've just gone to the KSA, and then we'll go all the way around. Since the way this map is laid out is I made it go round and then ends on here. And you'll notice that even though these two could be POIs, I decided in the end it's going to be landmarks, because I was going to make this a POI as well, but I forgot to. But I thought I would leave it as a landmark anyway. Now this is a live stream, so I can't really add images or stuff onto it. But I will make another GunNite video. It won't be long, but I'll just simply talk about like the GunNite map, how it's made, maybe, and then mainly the storyline. Because now that I could actually take a picture of this entire map, I could show you what it looks like without the POI names, and then I type the POI names out myself. But that other GunNite Chapter 4 map that has the copy in brackets name in it, is because it has all the POI's names removed and all these like little features like this little grey circles where the weapons are, the weapon loadout, the loot pool. So all these features are floating up in the sky and covering a little bits of the map, like even the battle bus and the mutate zone, which is right here as you can see. I made sure to get rid of that on the template map so that I could just take a picture of the GunNite map without anything interfering. Anyways, back to what I was doing. So this next POI is called Desert Canyon. Now it might look like a massive, basic, normal desert POI, but there's a little bit of a storyline. If you have watched my GunNite Chapter 4 Chapter 4 Season 1 launch trailer, you know that in the storyline section of the video, at the end, Jonesy, after waking up, he walks around the island, around here, but then he eventually comes across there, and he enters inside this bunker. So far, in the GunNite Island, this hasn't been opened yet. But as the seasons and updates progress, this bunker will have numerous changes until eventually it opens up, revealing the biggest plot twist. The next POI, which if you're a very true OG, you'll remember this, is called Strange Swamp. Now it might look like a normal swamp look POI, like all the other ones that people have been making. But if you're a true GunNite OG, which I respect, you'll know that in GunNite Chapter 1 when it first launched, one of the first ever POIs that was made was actually called Strange Swamp. One of the POIs that also had numerous changes. And then ever since it was removed in Chapter 1, which I think it was, yeah, ever since Chapter 1 Season 3, it has been removed and has never been seen ever since. Not even in Chapter 2 or Chapter 3. And finally, for the first time in quite a lot of months, or just simply years, Strange Swamp finally makes a grand return in Chapter 4 as a brand new revamped version of Strange Swamp makes its way. But this time, instead of being mostly a swamp, it's also like a little wood area with a bunch of weird buildings, which we'll get into somewhere. Right. The next POI we have here is Autumn Crossroads. It's one of the POIs that I've ever made that actually doesn't have like a different biome. Well, as in like the floor changes color, like the grass is orange. But instead, it's just simply a place full of autumn trees. You know, the ones that are mostly orange or reddish. Nothing much to say, but it's mostly just a place full of like cabins, windmills, I think they're called. And it even has its own little cabin watchtower, which I think, yep, is right here. Now, this next POI I had to get my friend Sunny, aka Shadow Launcher 12, to help me with. And this is called Brutal Eruption. Fun fact, some of these POIs names like Brutal Eruption, Synapse Domain, and Desert Canyon, the first word in their POI is actually a Fortnite POI name that I use to make so that I can actually figure out what POI name for it. Anyways, Brutal Eruption. So this is the only POI on the map or on the island that is actually not as normal as all the other ones are. Because you can see that most of them are just simply like swamps, forests, and grass, and desert. But then you've got, and swamp, which I think I've already said. But then you've got this one POI that is completely a molten area with mostly molten rocks, messed up trees, and lava. Which somehow doesn't interfere with the water, but that's just how the GunNite Island works. Nothing much to say about it, but it's just a volcano POI with some subtle teasers, which I'll talk about after we've gone over everything else, or when I get ready to. There's also a bunch of these weird little outposts scattered across the island. There's one right there, and then the first one that I built is right here, and then there's one here, and I think that's it. If I'm not wrong, is that it? So I think that's roughly 3 outposts so far. Anyways, where was I? Yeah. Okay, so this next POI is also another one that's made a grand return. But this one's had numerous changes and has been constantly removed and added back into the game multiple times. Basically, when GunNite Chapter 3 Season 4 first launched, one of the POIs that was added was known as Disco District. But the thing is, it wasn't a POI at first. Instead, it was one of the landmarks. It was one of the POIs that was first a landmark, but as the updates went by, construction would slowly be built, and it would eventually turn into the POI Disco District. It's had numerous changes, and even had a few consoles that could actually happen here. But then ever since Chapter 3 Season 5 ended, ever since then, Disco District has never been seen again. But the only time it has was last season in Chapter 3 Season 7 when it made a grand return on the island thanks to the Fracture event. But then it was quickly destroyed during a live event, and so we all thought that would be the end. But now with Chapter 4 Season 1 of GunNite finally out now, or finally out since yesterday, Disco District makes a brand new return. Again, just like the Strange Swamp POI, it's also had a complete brand new revamp and looks even better than what it used to. It's still the same Disco District, just with the small changes added to it. The next POI we got is Control Factory, my own representation of Steamy Stacks, if you want to call it that. So like you got some little steamy towers, I'll just call them like that. So what this is supposed to be is a jungle biome. This ain't no forest biome. Oh, I guess you could call this one a forest one because it's not really. It doesn't matter. But anyways, so we got a swamp biome, a desert biome, and autumn biome. I don't really count as a biome because it's not really completely different like this. But oh well. You got a volcano looking biome, which I like to call, and then you got a jungle biome. This is the only POI that's in this jungle area, so make use of the jungle biome if you like this type of biome. There's nothing much. It's mostly just a factory, a small little factory with not a lot of machines, but still some. Probably will get expanded in the next few updates, or as the season progresses. And then there's a relic. But like I said, we'll talk about those stuff like the relics and the teasers next time. Well, not next time, but like later in the stream, because we can have plenty of time. But anyway, so this next place, alright, the next, and I think it's the last POI we have is Snobby Junction, a small little like village of some sort, or a little small area of a POI. Nothing much to say. It's just got one shop and then a little hotel. Like, and by the way, let me just remind you that this thing for the slipstreams. So basically, pretty much all the buildings here are actually customly made by me, because I made all these little desert buildings. I made the hotel. I technically also made this. Scarlet helped with the decoration though. Yeah, look, I made all the desert buildings over here as well, and these buildings. This one, the outposts, the factory. But yeah, but basically, what I'm trying to say is that I've pretty much, I think for the first time, I think this entire map is customizable or custom made. I've said that multiple times ever since I first announced it, that this map is completely custom made, and it actually is. Not just because it's got a lot of features to it, but because pretty much every single POI has had a custom design, and because I have a secondary map that just has some building templates that I use to copy and paste on the map. And yeah. Okay. So we've gone over all the POIs now, so let's go over the landmarks. Now luckily, I can remember pretty much all the landmarks, and not just because there's only like, I think, 2. But the rest of the landmarks that I'll show you are just mainly don't need names. First of all, we got this little Loot Lake inspired POI in the middle. Well, not really the middle, but whatever. I call it the middle anyway. But this landmark, if I can recall, this one is called Relic Lake. And we'll get in touch about the relics later on in the stream. And then this other last landmark we have is the block. This is the first ever time in GunNite history that there's now a block. So it is technically supposed to be a POI, but it's a landmark instead. But let's just say this might be the subtle change for TJ Town right there. But of course, I'll be doing a special competition for my friends, and if you guys want to, I can make a video for it as well. But you don't have to join. I know my friends will probably will, but if you guys want to join, that's up to you. It's fine. But anyways, yeah, special competition for the block. You then got these cool little outposts. We've already pretty much touched on that. Now let's go. So it says that's pretty much all the landmarks. So now we're gonna go over the. So now we're gonna go over. So we're basically going over the map, and then we'll go over the features later. So next, we're gonna go over we're gonna go over Okay, you know, let's just go over the game's changing stuff, and then we'll go over the storyline later. So if we come up here, this is where the loot pool can be found. So what the difference is between the chapter 4 loot pool and the chapter 4 loot pool updated loot pool So basically what's going on here is that I have 2 chapter 4 loopholes, before the new chance system of course. And what this one is that this is the one that gets the new weapons and items. And then if there's ever a time when an update happens or a new season launches and I need the original loophole back, what I would normally do is I would take this and then connect the channels to that one and then get rid of this. That way, of course I copy this again so that I can put that there and then put it here as well. That way it looks like I just reset all the loophole without having to get all the weapons back again. But yeah. Now I can't really remember the loophole off the top of my head because there's a lot of weapons in there. Most of the different varieties. I know that some of the, well, right here you can see that some of the weapons are the grapple, the grappler, shockwave, the pump shotgun, and like the combat SMG and so on. But of course, like it'll take a while just to wait for them. So yeah. Another new thing is that GunNite Chapter 4 brings, finally, a battle bus feature. Because throughout GunNite, the battle bus, whenever I added a battle bus, it would simply just stay at the top of the map and you would just simply fall out. But even most of the time, it was just simply a rift that teleported to the top of the map and then you just drop down. For the first time in history, GunNite Chapter 4 finally brings an actual battle bus and it will fly across the map. Now, it is kind of a glitch. There's kind of a problem though. Instead of it going straight straight across the road, it will slowly go to the right like this. But it will do it quite slowly though. But in the end, it will still go across the entire map, and it will probably go past by, which is a good thing because it means that it will mostly kick the players out. Because I can't make that as an actual thing that happens as soon as you go past the mutate zone, but it will probably happen anyway. So, speaking of the mutate zone, this mutate zone makes it so when a bus passes, a message will pop up saying like a message will basically say like how welcome to Chapter 4 and explore and that lot. But it will also tell everyone to jump out the bus. But I think I got rid of that because there'd be no point in adding that anyway. Because some people might not jump out immediately, you know. Now the next feature that is in here, well, the 2 new ones is the new slipstreams and the zip lines. Now of course the zipline prop, which is this thing, doesn't have like a little connector on here which can connect to another one if you place another one here. So I had to manually create go to the perimeter shape and create my own zipline thing and then get it to perfectly connect to the other one. Luckily I pretty much got that completely fixed. I mean I got that perfectly on all of them, so it wasn't really that hard. But the challenging part was to make it actually work. Because besides Code 2.0, I don't think you can make an actual like working zipline, if you know what I mean. Therefore, I had to use a bunch of skydive volumes, which is why I think I probably reached the max of them, I think. No, I don't think I did. But it did work, because in the Chapter 4 Season 1 launch trailer, you can see my character, Jonesy, going through the slipstream. I keep calling this a slipstream, but these big rings are the slipstreams. This is the zipline, but you would see me go through the zipline and the slipstreams perfectly, meaning that the skydive still works if there's multiple inside. You got some all the ziplines are obvious because they're the ones that go diagonal and straight, whilst the slipstreams are ones that go bend and go wrapping around basically the main center point of the map. But that does mean you're able to go glide out to anywhere outside the slipstream, so that's why I made it do that. Because I think I could have actually fit them in, but the problem is I'd have to make it like cut through like this or something. Of course it don't work because I don't think I've made it so it can. Yeah, gameplay only, but that's fine. But they basically work anyway. Now, besides those 2 features, the next one is what I like to call the abductive feature. So it only happens at Chaotic City, which is obvious because it's only there. But I might move it. Like in the next few updates, it might move to other places. But for now, it'll stay there. And you're probably wondering, what is the abductor feature? Well, it's quite simple. What happens is that as soon as the player goes towards the center area, because the air vent kind of activates before you even enter the mutate zone, so it kind of doesn't work well, but it still works anyway. By the way, you can see that there's a couple of these white rings that slowly get bigger and bigger around the edge. If you stand anywhere inside of that, you'll ultimately get sent flying up, and if you do manage to hit the yellow circle underneath the ship, you will successfully get teleported to the main room. And this is this is like another way of me showing like all the secret weapons and stuff that you can get. You got ones that are simply coming soon, but you got the seasonal ones, which I think were for summer, I think. Because I think I was supposed to release this way earlier, but it doesn't matter. I'll probably release these for like autumn or something. Yeah, probably. So I'll change the little symbols to like a orange leaf. But then you got the free items, which are not that powerful, which is why they're free. You got the, I forgot what that's called, the cow thing, and then the recon scanner. I somehow remember that one. But then you got just the neutral weapons and items. The ones that actually are weapons that can actually hurt people. But that does mean that they will come at a hefty cost. You can see that they randomly have different material costs. Just because why not? So like, the cheapest is wood, and then it'll get a bit more expensive on brick, and then it'll get even more expensive on metal, and then it'll stop. The gold, probably not gonna be a feature anymore. Ever since I did the gold like special event thing in like chapter 2, I think was the first time I did it. But you can still see that there's still 4 more coming soon. And then you got the cheap weapons and items. These are going to be all the items and weapons that will get added every now and then. Let me just add a few more so it doesn't feel left out. Let's just narrow it down a bit. These are going to be all the weapons and items that will... yeah, there we go. That will be a few. Because I'll probably put more vending machines up above, actually. There you go. Then we'll move this in front. Yeah, anyways, like I was saying, so these are the cheap weapons and items. So these are still going to be weapons and of course consumables and items that will still hurt people. But these will be like simple ones that will not cost a lot. Like as you can see, for example, these two will only cost 1850 wood. Well, because you'd only want to go in this abductor ship unless you have a lot of materials that you don't want to just, that you don't just want to use for building, but you might also want to spend some, which you can. These are coming soon. They're either going to be special exotics, mythics. That probably won't be mythics because 2 of these weapons here, as you can see, are mythic ones. Okay, well that one isn't. That's purple. And of course, when you step in this meteor zone, you get put a timer, which I think, yeah, which puts you on a 2-minute and 30-second timer, which is just pretty much just about enough time for you to grab and purchase what you want to get before it then forces you out and teleports you out of the ship, which this rift right here won't be seen in game because that's the one that because once the timer ends it will teleport you to this rift, which basically will drop you out of the ship. Now I know that means you can still constantly go back in and out, but I can't really fix that, so you're just gonna have to pretend you did it once, and even if you don't have enough. Alright, I think it's about time that we now go over like the storyline and all the special teasers and special events. So if you've seen the other GunNite videos I've made, like the item shop, the battle pass, all the special bundles, you'll know that it's obvious that there's going to be another Sonic collab. But it's already happened in the special bundles and the item shop videos, but it's even more obvious around the map. Like there's a secret company and a slap juice that wants to come to the island. You might have also noticed that during the storyline section of the GunNite Chapter 4 launch trailer, where is it? You'll know that Jonesy walks past something and then takes a look at it for a couple seconds, and it's right here. And you probably won't think, what in the world is this? Like, is it just a donut? Is it another relic? No, it's in fact a Sonic the Hedgehog ring that has somehow found its way to the island. Now, unlike the flagship event, this one wasn't formed with multiple different pieces. This was just a simple island that was simply found in the middle of the ocean. And it's mostly consisted of remixed POIs. But also, most of them are new ones as well. I think only 2 of them, like this one and this one, are the only like remixed POIs. Oh yeah, but before we continue with the storyline features and everything, I forgot to talk about this one last POI right here. It's just sign up domain. It's like, just like this other POI, it's just another simple desert POI but with a little lake in the middle. Like, that's basically part of what I was going to say anyway. It's just another, yeah, that's a desert POI. But that's not all. Because that's not, yeah, because that's only the one out of the 2 teasers of the Sonic the Hedgehog collab. Because as I was talking about the POI Brutal Eruption, you might have seen that I took a look at this. And if you're an actual Sonic fan, you'll know that this is meant to be a red spring from the Sonic games. Or just from Sonic the Hedgehog in general. Okay, we'll ignore the little landmark. I'm gonna get rid of that in like probably the next update because I don't feel like it right now. But if you're wondering why that's there, because before I launched GunNite Chapter 4 and I was still working on this map, my partner, who's also the co-worker on this map, which is Finn, who works on Battlefield, wasn't really keen on working on Battlefield anymore, and even cancelled it completely at one point. But I tried in my nicest voice to convince him that even if he doesn't want to work on it, he could at least put it on a downtime and put it for as many days as he wants until he starts working on it again. Luckily, with that power and encouragement, and even from himself, he did like bring back the game, and now he's still currently working on the map. But once he's online, I'll start working on it with him. But yeah, but he's basically got that all sorted out. So Battlefield is coming back. If you guys want to know about it. Like, I just remember that you can add my Xbox account. Okay, for some reason, playing pair set name, creator made island 1 left. Okay, something's wrong with creator mode because I can't go to the other sections, like the quest and everything. And you might have also noticed that it says something completely different now. It says playing parent set name, creator made island 1 left. I don't know why it says that, but yeah. Playing Barrow creator made island 6. Oh, is it just like a new dialogue that they've changed? Well, it doesn't say that, but I don't know. But anyway, so you can either add my PlayStation 4 account, which is just to 06 though. I pronounce it as 06, but it's actually 06. But I recommend adding my Xbox account right here, Sonic the XFG, my YouTube name, so I can actually just simply put the map on and you can play a match with me. If you want to add Finn, it's just Ninja Legend. It's Ninja. So his whole username is all capitals. Ninja-Legend 174, all in capital letters, and the dash goes in between Ninja and Legend. If you put it right, you should be able to add him. And I'll tell him when he comes online one day that if you ever get friend requests from people, do accept it, accept it if you want, because they might be you guys who wants to add us both, so you could play both BR maps. So since I'm kind of running out of what to say here, let's just talk about the storyline. So you saw that in Chapter 4 Season 1 launch trailer, like in the storyline section of the video, of the trailer, you saw that as the Chapter 3 Season 7 island was crumbling, because before the event happened, like on the last update, it was split into hundreds of different pieces, the island was slowly crumbling into bits. Because this Josephine didn't know what to do. And so his only option, so in the trailer, it says previously in chapter 3, season 7 event. Because as the island was crumbling and being destroyed because Jonesy destroyed the tree, Jonesy got the loop to destroy the tree. This the whole entire time, this is chapter 1 started, there was an actual bunker underneath the island. And it was always there, no matter what happened. Flip side, nah, fine. Fracture, it was still in space, and it somehow was underneath the island. Even right now, it's possibly still under there, but we don't know. But when Jonesy was under there, he did eventually realize that his office, the entire base itself, was also crumbling. He then tried to contact an unknown character who we don't know yet, who sounds like Dr. Sloan, but it's just my own character. But they both interrupt each other, and Jonesy quickly wanders off. He goes to this special contraption that somehow never gets damaged, and then he uses it to transform himself to the island. And he didn't expect it to work at the first try, as it placed him, funny enough, I think right here in the middle of the water, basically right in front of the brand new chapter 4 GunNite Island. And then of course he swam this way, walked around that way, walked around that way, and so on. Now in the next update of GunNite chapter 4, which is 34.10. Wait, what? Wait, but because if I remember, chapter 3 season 7 was 27 versus 27, so okay, you know what, yeah, 31. We'll change it to 31 because what's going on, basically if you don't know what's going on is so chapter 1 would of course be like, for example, season 1 would be version 1.0, chapter 1 season 2 would be version 2.0. Then when chapter 2 of GunNite launched, it will then change to being 10.0, and then it will then change to 12.0 for chapter 2 season 1, then chapter 2 season 2, okay wait, I'm losing track of everything. So chapter 2 season 1 would be 11.0, and then chapter 2 season 2 would be 12.0, and so on. Chapter 3 would be I think 20.0 would be chapter 3 season 1, chapter 3 season 2 would be 21.0. Wait, hold on. Chapter 3 season 1, 20. Chapter 3 season 2, 21. Season 3, 22. Season 4, 23. Season 5, 24. And then chapter 3 season 6 would be 25, and chapter 3 season 7 would be 26. So that means that on version 26.0 would be chapter 3 season 7. And even though that probably doesn't make sense because it should be 27, that's basically how it goes. Also like that, I don't know.
Why can't you play your games? What are you talking about?
But anyways, we'll start first anyway because So just to start off first, we're gonna tune it so actually yeah, you know what? Okay, see this is the glitch on Xbox is that every time I try to edit a text, it keeps kicking me back off it, which means I have to then use my mouse in order to get onto it. Because it won't let me get on with controller. So we're gonna make it so version 30.0 is the next one. You know, let's add the other ones as well. Okay, we'll make so in this one version 30.10. Okay, we'll put that down. We'll leave this there for now. Yeah, as you can see, but as you can see, version 30.00 is officially the update version representing chapter 4. Which means that 30.10 would be the first update. Yeah, just like the storyline, so basically everything crumbles down in the end, but Jersey manages to bring everything back to life somehow. The six are like mostly missing again, so it's mostly Jonesy by himself kind of. But we'll be posting some reality logs again, and yeah, so let's just post all those videos now.